everyone, my name is Snow, and today I am making a somewhat different video than I usually make. Today's video, I drew inspiration from other videos I have seen floating around BookTube. I don't think they're particularly new, but I do like to search up other videos before making my own, just to draw some inspiration from other people's ideas. And today's video I saw a bunch of other people do, and it's books that I read because of BookTube. I spend a lot of time on the internet. I'm a teenager, I feel like a lot of teenagers spend a lot of time on the internet, but a lot of my time is spent on BookTube. Not so much making content, but I definitely do watch a lot of videos, and in those videos, you know, we talk about books, and people see us talking about books and want to read them. And I have definitely seen a lot of videos and seen people talk about books that sound interesting and I want to read them. So today I'm going to be talking about 6 books that I read because of BookTube. The first one is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Now, I didn't read the first one because of BookTube. I read this in like 6th grade, but I did end up continuing the series because of Jesse from Jesse the Reader's videos. This is one of his all-time favorite series, and because of him, I decided to pick up the 2nd and 3rd and the graphic novels and soon the 4th because it came out a few months ago. If you don't know what this book is about, I will tell you. It is about this boy named Jacob who has seen his grandfather murdered by some creature that nobody believes is real, and it is his job to try and avenge his grandfather's death. Now, right before his grandpa died, he told Jacob some things, and him and his grandpa were really close. His grandpa used to tell Jacob stories about this really cool children's home that he used to live in back in an island in Wales, and Jacob loved those stories, and his grandfather basically tells him one last one as he's dying, and he tells him to go to the island, find the bird, and save the children, and Jacob doesn't really know what to make of this. Until one day he goes to this island and stumbles upon Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And he is entered into this time loop where every single day is September 3rd, I think 1942. His job to now save all the children that are in this home from dying the same way that his grandfather did. And it is a really great story. There are so many great characters. Jacob and Emma and Olive and all of these characters are such beautifully written, and there's a bunch of pictures in here as well. That's where Ransom Riggs drew his story from. He found all of these creepy pictures online and in all these different ways, and he incorporated them into his book, and I think that's really cool. I haven't seen any authors really do that, so I would highly recommend picking up this series if you haven't already. The next book that I have is The Call by Peter O'Gullen. I think that's how you say the name. And I read this book because of Booksplosion, and that's Christine from Poland Bananas Books, Kat from Catty-tastic, and Jesse from Jesse the Reader. They're like the big BookTube trio. And they read this as a part of a book club type thing, and I picked it up because they were raving about it, and I fell in love with this book. The second book came out a while ago. I still haven't read it, which I really need to pick up. But this book is about a girl named Nessa who doesn't really have the ability to use her legs. This is a big problem for 2 reasons. 1, she can't walk, and 2, she's going to be called at some point, and not being able to walk is a pretty big issue. Now, when I say being called, this story takes place in Ireland, and at this point in time, the monsters that used to live in Ireland were confined into this one specific part of Ireland where nobody lives except for these creatures. Except the monsters are a little angry with the people that confine them, you know, as you would be. So they basically snatch up the teens that live in Ireland and force them to spend a day in their world, which in the human world is about 3 minutes. If the teenager survives the call or the day spent in this other world, they get to live. They get to be seen as a hero, but it's very hard to survive the call, especially when you cannot use your legs. And this is such a great story. I think of it as kind of like a better version of the Hunger Games, where instead of competing against other kids, you're competing against these monsters made up of the other people that try to survive the Cull's body. It'd be a beautiful movie, really creepy movie, but I would really recommend The Cull. It's really, really good. I don't really know how else to describe it. I definitely see this being a Tim Burton movie, and if you've read this, if you agree with me, let me know, because I'd love to see that movie. Next book I have was I picked it up because of Christine from Poem Banana's books. That is Anna and the French Kiss. I don't want to go too much into this because I feel like this has been talked about a lot on BookTube.
Why are there so many cars? 2 cars, whoa.
It's a trilogy of contemporary novels, and they're just cute. That's really it. Anna goes to a American school in Paris. She meets this guy. They fall in love. It's cute. The other 2 are basically the same. But one thing I really like about this trilogy is that in the next 2 books, you see characters from the previous books incorporated back in, and that's something I really like to see, because in the 3rd book, you get to see how Anna is doing in her life, and it's really cool. So, I don't know, if you're in the mood for a really cute book, you just read something real sad, you just read The Book Thief, and you need something cute, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins is a great option. Now the next 2 books I have, I don't really remember why or who I saw them, whose channel I saw these on, but this next one is There's Someone Inside Your House, also coincidentally by Stephanie Perkins. This is much different, very different than Anna and the French Kiss. This is a spooky, scary kind of book. Good to read during the Halloween season. Sorry, it's a little late. But I don't really remember too much about it. But what I do remember is that there is a murderer running around. What is the girl's name? Makani. She's Hawaiian. It's a Hawaiian name. She moves to like the Midwest kind of thing. Nobody really knows where she is. It might be like Kentucky. That's not the Midwest. Nebraska. Kind of the Midwest. She moves to Nebraska, and this town that she lives in with her grandma, there's some weird stuff going on. Kids are dying, and like a smiley face is being cut into their face. It's creepy. She meets this boy who's got like bright pink hair, and like he is number 1 suspect for these killings because he's not your typical Nebraska guy. Anyway, they end up kind of making a relationship. It's a cute relationship, and they make it their mission to try and figure out who is killing all of these people. It's great. I would recommend it. It's not super creepy or spooky, so if you're kind of looking for something with a little bit of a spooky vibe to it, I would recommend picking up this. The next book I have is quite different from that, and it's More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Again, I don't really remember whose channel I picked this up from, but I know a lot of BookTubes talking about it. Might have actually been Sasha from A Book Utopia. I remember her talking about this. It's about this kid named Aaron who is struggling with the fact that he's gay. And I feel like that's a lot of Adam Silvera books. But he doesn't like the fact that he's gay. He knows his friends don't accept him for this, and this guy comes in, and Aaron is slowly developing feelings for him, which are not reciprocated by this guy, which is heartbreaking. But he lives in a world where there is this service that can be done that can erase your memory. It's called the Lido procedure, or Lido Institute's procedure for memory removal. And Aaron wants to try and remove all the memories that made him gay, which is very sad. Adam Silvera's books make you cry a lot. I don't want to explain it too much because I'm afraid I'm going to give some stuff away, so that's really all I'm going to say about this. But the guy that moves in is really nice. His parents are great. It's such a good, sad book. So if you're looking for something to cry to, read this and then read Anna and the French Kiss, and like, you'll be set. You'll be ready to go. Now the last book I have is a book I'm currently in the middle of, but I'm loving so much I had to include in this video. And I was inspired to read it by Emma from Emma Books, and that's Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. and this book is so good. I love it so much. It's about this boy named Michael who ends up going to this all-Catholic school, which he's not cool with because he's an atheist. But he ends up meeting this group of people that all aren't your typical Christians. You have a girl who wants to become a priest, I think, or the Pope. Hold on. He meets a boy who is both Jewish and gay. He meets another kid named Max who wants to wear a cloak to school. He meets a girl that likes to practice like paganism, which isn't okay in the Christian community. And Lucy, who wants to be a priest, and that doesn't happen in the Catholic world. Him and this group of kids basically bond together to try and reform what this school is teaching them. And they start a club called Heretics Anonymous, whose job is to try and teach the Catholic kids that there's more than just Christianity. Sure, you can believe in these things and it's perfectly okay, but what the school is teaching these children is not quite right. And they make it their job to show them what the real world is actually like. And it's really funny and it's really cute. The friendships are amazing. Michael starts getting a thing for Lucy. It's real cute. You get to see Michael's home life, which is it's definitely not normal. He has a little sister, a mom, and a dad, but the dad is never home, much like Lucy's mom. And just seeing these teens both in school and at home and seeing their families is really great, because a lot of the time in YA, you really don't get to see the family lives of these characters, and in a lot of the books that I just talked about, you do. More happy than not, you get to see the family, and in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, you get to hear about Jacob's parents, and all these books are just great. But if you're looking for something a little different, I would recommend Heretics Anonymous, because it's never a book I thought about picking up until I heard Emma talk about it. Those were 6 books that I picked up because of BookTube. Let me know if there's any books that I've talked about in my videos or that I've talked about in this video that you've read because of me or have just read in general and enjoyed, because I would love to hear about them. And if there's any books that you have to recommend for me, let me know, because I'm always interested in reading more. See you guys soon with a new video. Bye!